Hey there, Dragon Ball Infinity. I'm the Roleplay admin Luke, and this is a roleplay review for, title of the log is Let the Games Begin, and it's by Eric. If you don't know who Eric is, you should probably check out his bio. When I read it, I was really impressed. It was actually really unique. It's written in a very unique style, you know? Um, this log is pretty good. Like, actually, it's really good. It's written in the same style as his bio, and it's worded perfectly. It's just very smart use of vocabulary and just, I don't know. It's really rich, like, and it's simple. It doesn't try too hard. Like when I role play, like people know me pretty well as like the guy who makes like 3 or 4 giant paragraphs. Um, and then I stretch details out way more than they really need to be stretched out. I just have a really, I just really examine something like I have it under a magnifying glass. But Eric's style is really, I don't know, picturesque. It leaves a lot more to the imagination. Even the events that happen, like the sort of combat that's in the log, which isn't much. Um, you know, he tells you just enough to where you can picture it in your mind, and then he leaves enough room for you to imagine the rest. And that's really good, especially for solos. Like solos can go on and on and on and on. Like some people can literally be writing like novels when they're just doing solo projects like this. But this is the best way to do them in most circumstances because a solo should really just be a short story that's very precise and it gets the feeling and the emotions and sort of transfers the ideas in a very concise way. Eric has a unique special power. He has like let's say like an empathat empathic link to people, so he can like detect their deeper emotions, their deeper feelings, and he can sort of affect uh, the way that not he can't affect the way that they think, but he can pick up on it very very readily. It's sort of very available to him, sort of like an extremely advanced version of sense. And in this log, he uses it to actually track down a specific member because he's worked with that person before and he can sort of like recognize and pick up those sort of emotional signals and that sort of like uh, I don't know, that sort of mental aura that people put out. Like this person is so powerful, so prolific that it's actually like almost like smoke rising off the buildings, and he just follows the smoke to where the fire is. Um, like I said, the combat isn't great. It the combat no it's not that the combat isn't great. The combat is very simple and put in a very precise said in a very precise way. Um, it's it's just really good. I wish I even had words. Like it's more of an experience than I can really explain to you. Uh, Besides that, though, his use of like lingo and his use of like descriptions, like his homemade tattoos and stuff, like things that he had done himself while he was in the gang, done with a needle. It just adds this sort of like seedy underworld, um, but not like the really overblown sort of over underworld. Like the really common like city metropolis sort of underworld, like the real gang life. Um, it's I don't know. It's so close to home. Like you can picture it so well in from our world and the things that are going on. Um, it feels natural. Like he could take this log and he could put it almost anywhere. He could just have it be as a simple series of short stories, about the real world, replace V-Day City and Peppertown and all this stuff with New York, and it would it would be transferable to a more widespread audience or a widespread medium. Um, it's just really good. Uh, it's really it's short. I really encourage you guys to go and look at it. It's not going to take you more than 30 minutes to read this. Probably even less than that for some of you, since you're experienced readers and you read for fun. Um, but it's definitely worth looking over, uh, and take some ideas from it. It's a pretty good concept. It's kind of funny. We have a lot of people showing up in roleplay who are either ex gangsters, like Balbaroy or Silvis's new character, Victor, and they're sort of like breaking back into crime, We have characters like my character Cyber, who's sort of a criminal fighting other criminals and sort of like recruiting for his missions and operations. And then we have Junesong, or Eric, who's sort of like a vigilante trying to make up for some of his past crimes and past mistakes. Uh, so we're getting a really interesting cast, and they all have a really high synergy level, and that's amazing. That's really good. We haven't really had that before. In the past, we've had some really people who were totally out there, and it was way more. I'm noticing that this time around, for some reason, the element of crime is the big motivating factor. But in the past, it was always just martial arts. Characters like Ragnios and Cade and Calmega, um, they were the prolific characters. They were martial artists who were like striving to become the greatest. And this time around, it's kind of like people are really out to do something to get a mission. As far as what I would like to see Eric do in the what I would like to see him do in the next series of logs, or in his next solo, or where he should take this. Obviously we want to see Mongrel. We want to see the Mongrel and see him fight that guy. But I want to see some more superhuman stuff. It's cool to stay, and if you don't want to do that, if you want to keep it low key for now, that's cool too. You're the type of character where that would be all right, and it just be kind of like a battle of wills more so than like a really external battle of energies and forces and stuff. But throwing Junesong into really putting his skills to the test and seeing that superhuman potential that we expect from characters in Dragon Ball Z setting, that could be really cool. But for you, Eric, for Junesong, I think building up slowly is probably the key. You actually remind me a little bit of Doomiston, which might be a character that you don't remember or you don't know. I'm not sure if you're new to DBI or if you're a returning cast member, but Doomiston had a series of logs called Tales from Hero City, and in the beginning, it started out real slow. He was just fighting these criminals, and they all had like really unique backgrounds, and the way that he told each story was really unique. Um, Actually, you should go and look up those logs, because those are worth reading by themselves. Because Nigmas Doomiston was an amazing role player. He just had an imagination that very few of us can hope to uh, emulate. But I think it might inspire you a lot, actually, to see what someone else kind of did, and it's sort of along the same lines. So try to go to the forums and look up his logs. I'm pretty sure they're called Tales from Hero City, but I could be wrong. If that's not what they're called, get in touch with me, and I will do my best to find them for you, because I really think you'd enjoy them, and I think it would, like I said, it might give you some ideas, or just inspire you a little bit, and that's what this is all about. That's why we keep the forums. That's why we keep the logs saved. We recently moved all the older logs into the Age of Mortals file that's at the top of the roleplay logs thing. But we keep them so that we can go and look back and sort of reference things and, you know, look at what other people have done. And like I said, Doomiston Nigmas was an amazing role player. Every single one of us could learn something from him. It's a shame that he's not back. Anyway, amazing job, Eric. Amazing job, Junesong. I'm looking forward to seeing what you're going to do next. And that's it for this review. Good job, man. I'll see you guys on the chat channel.